This morning I want to share a few thoughts from the book of Psalms, Psalm 13. How long, O Lord, will you forget me? Forever. How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts, and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look on me and answer, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death. And my enemy will say, I've overcome him, and my foes will rejoice when I fall. But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me. Some say this psalm was written by David when King Saul was chasing after him all across the country, determined to kill him and put an end to the threat that he perceived that David had for his kingdom. But whatever the situation was, David seems to be absolutely desperate. He has quite a rant at God, as it were. This psalm seems to be divided into three parts. David was feeling down, abandoned, and desperate. Do you know how he feels? There are a lot of people today who are feeling that way. It sounds like a bit of a rant, doesn't it? How long will you forget me? Forever? He feels abandoned. He feels as if God is not there for him at all. How long will you hide your face from me? David needed to focus on God, and yet he couldn't see him. He couldn't find him in this situation. Must I wrestle with my thoughts and have sorrow? Will my enemy triumph over me? Poor old David, he was in quite a state, wasn't he? And I guess there are a lot of people around in the world today who are feeling this way. They can't see an end to their situation. They can't see a way out. And he was absolutely desperate. And there are people, I'm sure there are people today saying, how long is this going to go on? How long am I going to be confined to my home? How long am I going to be in this position that I am? And he was in a desperate situation. It seems that nothing was going right for him. And the second part is when he starts thinking about this. He starts thinking about the consequences that the absence of God from his life, or the perceived absence of God from his life, would have. God doesn't act, and he presents to him the consequences. Look on me and answer me. He's crying out to God, look on me and answer me. Give light to my eyes, or I'll die. My enemy will say to me, I've overcome him. Where is David? And where is David's God? And sometimes if we dwell on the way we feel, we can go into a downer. We can feel depressed. We can feel as if we're abandoned. And in the third part, it's totally different. It's as if he has stopped and he's listened for God. So often we shout at God and we ask him this, why, how long? And we don't give him a chance to talk to us. Something significantly happened between the second and third part. And I like to think that David stopped and listened to God. The transformation was absolutely tremendous. He talks now not about God forgetting him, but he talks about God's unfailing love, God's salvation. He rejoices in God. He sings praises to God because he's had a revelation that God really loves him. And you know, I like David. He's so human. I can identify with David because he suffers all the frailties that I suffer. He suffers all the frailties that you suffer. And I know David's experiences when I was reading this song, It's not one that actually stood out and grabbed me. Oh, I'd love to preach on that. But it reminded me of situations that I am experiencing myself, and I'm sure that's the case for others. One situation for me has been going on for a long time, and I go to God with it. I talk to God about it, but it seems that there is no answer to the situation. A couple of times I've thought God's heard me and answered me, but it's not always proved the case. And there are times when I get angry with God. There are times when I feel that He doesn't care. He doesn't want to intervene in this situation. But to be honest, I've never stopped and waited on Him for the answer. And there is another situation that has been quite recent in actual fact. The song tells me that I can actually be real with God, that I can tell Him how I feel. He won't get offended. He won't wipe me out. He won't hide His face from me. But the other night, this situation came to me again. And I decided I need to take carpet time and bring it to God and speak to Him, shout at Him if you like, which I did, then stop and listen. And after 20, 25 minutes, I'm not sure how long, God spoke into that situation. He hasn't cured that situation, but He's given me an understanding of how God wants me to handle this and why it's an ongoing thing. I think we could all learn from this psalm that we can say to God whatever we like, and He hears us, whether we think it or not. He doesn't get angry with us. We don't offend Him, but it helps us to understand if we give Him time to explain and to reveal to us what He's doing in our lives. And that's something that David, I believe, did here. He stopped and he listened. We like to talk. We don't always like to listen. We like to ask questions, but we don't give God the chance to answer. So if you take anything from this psalm, take this. Speak to God as you would speak to anybody else. You don't need any particular language. You don't need to come in the right way. Just open your heart and let it come out, and God will hear you. But the important thing is to stop, to listen, and to allow Him to speak into our hearts, because He loves us. He loves you, He loves me, and He loves to have interaction with us. So let's not start with, how long, O Lord, will you forget me? But let's finish with, I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation, and I will sing praises to the Lord, for He has been good to me, and has been good to you. Bless you.